Good evening, everybody. My name is Karli Barnett. I am here at the First Alert Desk, and we want to start out with some of our top news stories today. We've just had breaking news directly to our newsroom. Sorry, I'm just switching out my IFB here so that we can hear all this better. All right, there we go. So this is some major breaking news that we just received here at Atlanta News First. 2 arrests have been made in a 7-year-long cold case. You will remember we actually brought this news to you on the First Alert Desk last week, talking about how they were going to make an update. Let me make sure that I have my graphics here ready to go. I apologize, I have the wrong thing listed, but hey, this is a breaking situation. These types of things are fluid. All right. And the whole point of this is to sort of give you all that peek behind the curtain, what happens when we get these news stories and the process in getting this news to you. So this happened in Newton County. All right, guys, stick with me. I'm getting all this ready for you. I apologize, but I did want to. All right, now we've got all my graphics ready, and now I can bring you the news that we have just received. So in the case of Morgan Bauer, 2 people have been arrested. It was just last week we were reporting that there were really no updates over the weekend. Porterdale police had launched a massive search back on July 27th, and they said it was in connection to the death of Morgan Bauer, who was 19 at the time, and she disappeared 7 years ago. So now we know that 2 people have been arrested in that case, Caitlin Goebel as well as Jonathan Alexander Warren. Goebel has been charged with tampering with evidence as well as concealing a death. Warren faces those same charges in addition to aggravated assault and murder. So at this point, we had not known what had happened to Bauer. All we knew is that she had vanished 7 years ago, about 2 weeks after she had moved to the state of Georgia from Aberdeen, South Dakota. She had only been in the Gainesville area for about 2 weeks until her phone was last detected near the Yellow River. That was in February of 2016. It's important to note the Yellow River runs pretty much adjacent to this property that was being searched back on July 27th. It was a home on South Broad Street. The FBI, the GBI, as well as Porterdale police were all investigating. They were giving very few details at that point. All they said was that new evidence led them to this home. They never said what that new evidence was, but they say it was enough for a search warrant, and they executed a search warrant all day that day. They concluded around 7 p.m. that night, and essentially over the last week, we've just been hearing that they had no new updates, to continue holding out, to wait for more information. And just minutes ago, we received this news from Sergeant Michael Walden. He's the PIO for Porterdale Police. They are the leads in this investigation. Now, they still say that this is active and ongoing, and they're working closely with the Newton County District Attorney's Office, rather. So at this point, we don't know where exactly things stand, but they say this is still ongoing. What we do know is the 2 people arrested were Caitlin Goebel. She was arrested in Peoria, Illinois. You may remember that when we first told you about this story, we said it was the FBI, GBI, Porterdale police, and that Peoria was connected. I reached out to Peoria, Illinois police to see how they were involved. All they would confirm is that they were assisting, that they had no officers actually in the state, but that they were helping out with this investigation. So now we know the Peoria, Illinois connection there. Jonathan Alexander Warren, he was arrested in Los Angeles, California. That's what Sergeant Michael Walden tells us. It's still unclear their connection to the victim, Morgan Bauer. They didn't say that, but Bauer went missing in February of 2016. She had just moved down to this area from South Dakota. I spoke to her friend, someone who identified herself as her best friend, Taryn Ryan, exclusively, and she said that she wanted life in a big city. She wanted to have that fast-paced life, and that she just had so many hopes and dreams ahead of her. And she says they've been waiting 7 years for answers, for closure. Now, it's still unclear what exactly happened to Bauer. We do know that she disappeared, but based on the charges, which include murder, aggravated assault, concealing a death, and tampering with evidence, it seems as though, unfortunately, Bauer is deceased. So we are still awaiting more specific details in, again, their connection to Bauer, how police were able to hone in on these two suspects, as well as what evidence led them to that property in Porterdale. And those are pieces of information that we are working to gather for you now. But we wanted to come on here as soon as we heard about this break in this case, because it's something that we have been following, which I was just looking at the comment from Corey Thompson. Hey, thank you. Piece by piece. Hey, that's the thing, is we are getting pieces of information here, and these are the facts of what we know, and there are certainly things that we still don't know, but we know that a lot of people have been waiting a very long time to get answers, to get closure, to have that sense of peace, and certainly a lot of emotions tonight. But this is the information that we have just received here to the newsroom. We're going to be gathering more intel and hopefully having that for you tonight at 9, 10, and 11 on Atlanta News First if you join us on TV, or you can also stream us live here. So just very shocking update. This has been a 7-year-long cold case. 2 arrests have been made in connection to the disappearance of 19-year-old girl Morgan Bauer. She had just moved to the state of Georgia from Aberdeen, South Dakota. And now a Jonathan Alexander Warren and a Caitlin Goebel have been charged in connection to her death. Those charges including murder, aggravated assault, tampering with evidence, and concealing a body. Now, this is not the only piece of news that we are covering today. We still have plenty of other headlines to talk to you about, and we want to get to some of those as well, including the fact that numerous people were hurt today after a Greyhound bus crashed. It appears that the bus blew a tire. None of the injuries, though, are life-threatening, we are told, but a preliminary investigation shows that one of the tires blew out. Crews are on the scene. If you are in the area experiencing a lot of traffic, this is that backup. And something else to note is if you want to go out on the water this weekend, you are not going to want to do that at Lake Peachtree. That's because the city of Peachtree says that there is potentially harmful algae in the lake, putting up a sign saying swimming is not allowed until further notice. That's not just for people, it's also for pets, that you need to stay out of the lake as well. They say the warm temperatures and little rainfall make toxic algae blooms more common. So, hey, we know that this might be the last weekend that many of you have before students go back to school. Just keep in mind, if you want to get out on the water, not the place to do it there at Peachtree Lake. And I know I've given you a lot of heavy news here, so we want to send you with something that's kind of interesting and different. Reporter Joshua Skinner has this for us tonight. Pinball is the name of the game, and they say that there is an increase in the number of pinball machines that are being created for things like breweries and theaters. And actually, the pandemic, they say, had to do with that. You had more people with disposable income that weren't able to get out and about. Brings people joy, a little heavy dose of nostalgia there. And that's according to the world's largest pinball machine manufacturer, that it's growing at a rate of about 25% per year. Brian Broyles, he opened Portal Pinball back in 2017 in Kennesaw, and he says he's since had to relocate to a larger venue in Ackworth because it was just so popular. And hey, that's a fun weekend event to try. It might be something that you want to do to stay inside this weekend because whether it's the heat or the rain, we may want to be balancing our indoor-outdoor plans there. So I'm going to send things over now to First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin, and let's go ahead and take this beautiful look at Marietta Square. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, the sun's starting to set. Just a few clouds out there. A gorgeous evening. Finally an evening where we are not having to worry about showers and thunderstorms, at least not momentarily. It is dry out there at the moment. That will change, though, late tonight into tomorrow morning. So keep in mind, we do have rain in the forecast back half of the weekend, which is why I hope you did get outside. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here to give you an update on the forecast. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, we're streaming live on YouTube. I know Karli was chatting with Corey earlier, and looks like some other folks on YouTube. So if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, YouTube is the place to be. Atlanta News First is the account to like and to follow. Though we are streaming across many platforms right now, including Roku, Amazon Fire, AtlantaNewsFirst.com as well. We'll start with radar. And again, we are dry right now, and I think we're going to remain dry here through the 9, 10, 11 o'clock hours. But looking upstream, or off to the north and west, look at these showers and thunderstorms that are really raging here in western and northwestern Alabama. Yes, they're severe right now, but they will weaken on their trek towards us. However, I do think that whatever remains of this cluster of showers and thunderstorms will move into northwest Georgia late this evening, overnight tonight, into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, maybe around midnight or so. So there will be some showers and thunderstorms impacting us overnight tonight. That's kind of the first round, and then a second potential after sunrise tomorrow, and then a third potential for showers and thunderstorms bubbling up, especially with that third round along and south of the I-20 corridor. That does include, though, the city of Atlanta. So that's radar. What's actually happening, let's take a look at the forecast model. This is what a computer thinks radar might look like through the rest of the evening and overnight tonight. And again, data doing a decent job with the handling of what we have had going on so far today. So I don't have too much of a reason to question it. Again, there comes that weakening round of showers, maybe a couple of storms overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Notice how it does fall apart, though, gradually. Though if you live west and northwest of the city of Atlanta, certainly could be some rain, some thunder late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And then we're going to see that chance of showers and thunderstorms increase as we get into the kind of the after sunrise portion tomorrow. Unfortunately, data having a hard time loading this evening. Let's see if we can get that going for you. But again, overnight tonight to the wee hours of tomorrow morning, showers and thunderstorms weakening, moving in from the north and west. There it is, kind of falling apart. And then 3, 4 a.m., we may see some more showers and thunderstorms that start to move in, but mainly from the north and west. Again, doesn't look like, unfortunately, maybe having a computer issue there, data not coming in, but you have to trust me there. Tomorrow, greatest rain chance is probably before 4 p.m., first alert to that. And I think tomorrow will be a little bit of a muggier day. Hot and a little bit muggy, depending on exactly where you are. Temperatures peaking in the lower 90s in Atlanta, right around 90, Lake Lanier, 90 Athens, Rome, 94, 90 in Noonan. You factor in the moisture in the air, that humidity, that mugginess, it'll feel like it's in the upper 90s to perhaps, for example, you see Rome, lower 100s, that 81 in Atlanta. So this is forecast model data, and I think that number is skewing a little low because it is forecasting some pop-up showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So that kind of gives you an idea. If you're not getting stormed on, it'll feel like it's close to 100. If you are getting stormed on, it'll feel like it's in the 80s. So pool plans tomorrow. It's a decent summer day. Don't cancel them, but just be aware there will be some pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the first alert forecast. First alert to those, especially before maybe mid-afternoon. But if you live south of the city, maybe as late as 5 p.m., so some showers and thunderstorms roaming North Georgia. Again, particularly areas south of Interstate 20. And then as we get into the Monday time period, another first alert. So tomorrow, first alert, showers and thunderstorms could impact some plans. A couple storms could become strong to severe. The risk is relatively low. Veda, hello to you, saying got a storm in Denver. Yeah, you guys are really cranking out the monsoon season up there. Lots of showers and thunderstorms. But you do need the moisture, so that is the good thing, right? At least you're getting some needed rainfall. And the good news here, mostly dry evening back in North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, at least through, the midnight hour. But then first alert both Sunday and Monday, rounds of storms in the forecast, not just, one storm, one spot. It's going to be a few rounds of showers and thunderstorms building into North Georgia, and a couple of those storms, both Sunday and Monday, could become strong to severe, producing gusty winds and maybe some hail up to about the size of quarters. Those are your greatest threats with any storms that do achieve severe status or get to that threshold. And the risk is a little greater Monday versus tomorrow. Nonetheless, though, tomorrow, too, a couple of those storms could become strong to severe. So just wanted to check in. Again, it's gorgeous outside right now. Behind me, that is, in fact, we'll bring it full for you. That's our Marietta Square sky cam looking back to the north and west. That's Kennesaw Mountain there in the distance, and a setting sun, some streaming high clouds ahead of storms in Alabama, but a quiet evening, mostly dry evening. But first alert, showers and thunderstorms back in the forecast tomorrow. First alert, more showers and storms on our Monday, and a couple of those could be strong to severe, so keep the alerts turned on in the First Alert weather app just in case. Want to thank you for tuning in, and again, that data I was trying to show you, we're going to rework the system here, see what may be going on with that, but we'll probably get some new data in around the time that you're going to tune in for the late newscast, so would love to have you join. A reminder, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV at 9 p.m., back for a 10 o'clock hour, and then back on WANF. By then, some of that new data coming in, and you can always get a check of the full First Alert forecast as well at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the First Alert weather app. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great rest of your weekend.